Just another day, looking for the perfect shade to complete my next graffiti masterpiece. I was about to grab a can of midnight blue when I spotted them. Two sketchy dudes, pocketing cans of paint like it was casual Friday at the shoplifting Olympics. Their friend, though, a posh-looking guy, completely clueless. He was standing there like he had no idea his so-called buddies were treating the store like an all-you-can-steal buffet. Not my problem, but... The sketchy duo strolled to the register, acting like they were just innocent customers. The second they stepped through the security scanner, beep, beep, beep.
What? What's happening? I didn't take anything.
His friends, gone, vanished into thin air.
You! Empty your pockets!
Poor dude looked like he was about to pass out. I could practically see the, am I about to be arrested? Thoughts racing through his fancy little head. Again, not my problem. Except, I let out an overly dramatic sigh, turned on my heel, and skated out of the store. I found them in the alleyway, laughing their asses off with their bag full of stolen paints. Time for some justice. Finn style. Hey, dumbasses.
Huh?
Before they could react, I swung my skateboard. Whack! One went down instantly. The other tried to run, but I grabbed his hoodie and yanked him back like he was a badly behaved golden retriever. Not so funny now, huh? They stared at me, terrified, dazed, and, honestly, pathetic. Pick up the bag. We're going back. I dragged them, literally dragged them, back to the store. I chucked the stolen bag of paint onto the counter. Those two tricked you both. Here, the store owner glared at the actual culprits.
We're sorry. We won't do it again.
I turned around, headphones back on, and walked out. Unfortunately, the nerd wasn't done with me yet.
Wait!
What now?
I just wanted to say thank you. What's your name?
No need.
But
can't you hear? I already said no need. If you had been able to protect yourself in the first place, you wouldn't have to think others like this.
Huh?
I skated away. Hi, I'm Finn. Technically, it's Fiona, but Fiona is way too girly for me. I've lived at St. Mary's Orphanage my whole life. I was dumped here as a baby with nothing but a note. Dear Orphanage, this is Fiona. I can't afford to raise her, so I hope the orphanage will take care of her for me. Best regards, and never meet again. Yep, no parents. Never had him, never needed him. I was adopted multiple times, by the Harringtons, the Millers, the Hopes, blah, blah, blah. But every single family sent me back. Apparently, I was too out of control. Pfft, honestly, their loss. Now I get to do whatever I want. Sneak onto rooftops, spray paint the city, skate at midnight, and eat junk food for dinner. Oh, and skipping school. Like right now. Except...
Finn?
I was startled and almost fell off my chair as Sister Wendy stormed into the room. What now?
Did you skip school to paint graffiti again?
Graffiti is an artistic expression of...
Your teacher called. This is the 5th time this month.
Sister, I can't stand school. They always make me study useless subjects, like math.
Math is not useless.
Oh yeah? What am I gonna do if a burglar breaks into my house at 3 a.m.? Blow his mind with logarithms?
Ooh, oh no, a criminal!
Behold, the power of algebra!
Oh, you're impossible. Listen, Finn, you're going to be out of here soon. You need to learn how to be on your own.
And school helps with that?
Yes, you can do a lot with a degree. Now get going.
Ugh, but I knew better than to argue with Sister Wendy. She was the only one who actually cared. After school, I stopped by my favorite graffiti wall to finish my latest masterpiece, snapped a pic for my Instagram, and then Sister Wendy called. What now? I skated back to the orphanage, dreading whatever lecture awaited me. Except she wasn't mad. Instead, she just looked at me, weirdly.
There's a couple inside. They want to adopt you.
Again?
Finn, listen to me. They're different. They're good people. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance.
Sure it is.
Then do it for me. I need to see you taken care of.
Fine. Let's just get this over with. I stomped into the meeting room, ready to scare off my latest victims, only to freeze in my tracks. Wait, I knew these people. They were the Lawrence, a famous artist couple. So, let me get this straight. These people, the Lawrence, aka world-renowned artists, aka ridiculously rich, aka very much out of place in this musty orphanage, wanted to adopt me? Yeah, suspicious. All right, what's the scam?
Scam?
Nobody just wants to adopt a teenager, especially a troublemaker like me. So, what is it? Tax benefits? Free housemaid? Publicity stunt?
Finn, we...
Just saying! Rich people don't do things for free.
We're not here for anything but you, Finn. We've been following your work for a long time.
My work?
Your graffiti.
Excuse me?
We love it. We actually follow your Instagram.
Which one?
At Urban Rebel Finn.
Nope. Nope. My underground graffiti page? The one where I post all my murals? The one where I may or may not have publicly insulted several politicians, school authorities, and the entire New York City sanitation department? So you, what, saw my work and thought, wow, we should adopt that criminal?
Not exactly. We appreciate what you do. Your art, your messages, they're raw and fearless. We admire that.
Uh-huh. And instead of, I don't know, hiring me, you want to adopt me?
We want you to have a home. You've been through a lot, haven't you? I felt my stomach drop. For a split second, it was like they could see right through me. All the times I'd been sent back, all the people who had used me, all the times I had tried to believe someone would actually keep me, only to be let down again. I hated it. Forget it. I'm not getting adopted. Not again. Then I stormed off, leaving them calling after me. I needed to clear my head. They don't get it. Nobody does. A famous artist couple following my work for a year? That was weird. Wait, it's them. What are they doing here? Are you stalking me now? Oh, Finn! Fancy seeing you here.
This is my spot.
We brought you something.
If it's a please love us gift, I don't want it.
Just take a look.
For a second, I considered telling them to shove off. But curiosity wins. I snatch the bag and rip it open. Inside is a full set of high-end graffiti supplies. Spray paints, markers, stencils. The expensive kind. The kind I've been eyeing for months, but could never afford. Where did you get these?
We own an art studio. Figured you'd like it.
You think this will make me accept you?
No, we just thought you'd like it.
The way he says it, so casual, so certain, like it's not some grand gesture or a bribe, unsettles me. No strings attached, no expectations, just giving me something because they wanted to. And I hate how warm that makes me feel. Ugh, you people are annoying. I kick off on my board and skate away before they can say anything else, but I keep the bag. I've always liked the rooftop. It's quiet, high above the world, with just the hum of the city in the distance. Up here, nothing feels as heavy.
The Lawrence are still waiting.
They're wasting their time.
They're different, Finn. I know you're scared.
I'm not scared.
I know you've been hurt before, and I know you don't trust easily. But the Lawrence, they're kind people.
They could just be faking it, like the others.
I've done background research. They don't have any hidden agenda.
So?
So maybe give them a chance. Not just for them, for you. And if they ever let you down, you always have a home here.
I don't say anything, but for the first time, I think about it. Well, here we go. Fine. I'll let you adopt me.
Really?
But 2 conditions.
Name them.
1, I can return to the orphanage whenever I want.
Of course.
2, you'll provide as much art stuff as I want.
Done.
You agreed too fast. Suspicious.
We were already planning to send you to art school.
Art school?
You'll go with our daughter, Eve.
Who is Eve?
Your new sister.
Yeah, this just got weirder. Car rolls to a stop, and I step out, skateboard in hand, staring up at what is definitely not a house. It's a museum with bedrooms. The driveway is cluttered with weird metal sculptures, like someone let a bunch of robots die here for the sake of art. I knew rich people live differently, but this was excessive.
Welcome to your new home.
More like a museum I'm not allowed to touch.
You can touch everything, dear.
Even that weird statue that looks like a melted giraffe?
That's actually an original piece from...
Yeah, I don't care.
Let's get you inside. There's someone we want you to meet.
Oh, great. More surprises?
Love that for me.
I follow them inside, stepping into what looks like an art studio the size of my entire orphanage. And sitting right in the middle of it is a girl who looks like she walked straight out of an elite boarding school brochure. Her outfit? Perfect. Her hair? Neatly tucked, like it stays that way on its own. She's working on some delicate, detailed garden scene.
Finn, this is Eve, your new sister.
Excuse me? Hi, Finn. It's so nice to finally meet you.
Is it?
I've been really excited. I've always wanted a sibling. Is something wrong?
You don't look threatened.
Why would I be?
Because either A, they're replacing you with me, or B, you're being forced to be nice to me.
What? No!
Finn, dear, we're not replacing anyone.
Then explain why a perfect rich family would go out of their way to adopt a problem child like me.
Because we love your art, Finn.
And because we wanted the house to feel fuller.
That's not reassuring. Why don't you show Finn to her room?
Of course. Come on, Finn.
Suspicious.
Eve swings the door open, and I step into what is definitely not a normal bedroom.
The walls are covered in bold, chaotic splashes of color,
like someone let loose with a spray can and no self-control.
Shelves packed with top-tier graffiti supplies line the room, the kind I've only ever dreamed of having.
I helped design it. I hope you like it.
This is too nice.
What?
This is a trap.
This is a make her feel comfortable, then spring some insane rich people rules on her situation. No! You can do whatever you want here.
Even paint on the walls?
Especially on the walls.
Okay. Slightly less suspicious.
Good. Tomorrow's your first day at school. I'll help you settle in.
School? Again?
You can't just skate around Brooklyn forever.
Watch me. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad, but I'm still watching them. They might be nice now, but nobody stays nice forever. I've been to a lot of schools. Some boring, some strict, some that probably should have been condemned by the city. But this was the next level.
Welcome to Rosewood Academy.
Thanks. I hate it.
You'll be fine.
Let's find your homeroom. I follow Eve inside, but the second I step through the doors, something feels off. Why does this feel like the opening scene of a horror movie? That's her.
The delinquent the Lawrence adopted.
Oh, they're afraid of me.
Nice.
Finn, please don't encourage this. No promises. I was just getting used to my new villain arc when...
Wait, you?
Oh no. Standing right in front of me is the same posh nerd I saved at the paint store. Why are you here?
I go to this school. Why are you here?
Plot twist. I got adopted.
By the Lawrence?
Unfortunately.
Oh! You two know each other?
Unfortunately.
Wow! Small world!
Whatever. Just stay out of my way, posh boy.
It's Dylan.
Yeah, Finn, Dylan's great. He's super smart. Right, Dylan?
Sure.
Dylan suddenly looks like he just remembered a massive, overdue assignment, and Eve is inspecting her nails like they're the most fascinating thing she's ever seen. I needed air. Everything here is too perfect. The house, the people, the whole, we're a loving, normal family act. The new school is weird. The new family is weird. And now, there's Dylan, the human embodiment of rich kid anxiety. What on earth did I get myself into? Just as I'm lost in thought, a sharp voice cuts through the silence.
You're Finn, right? What an impolite child. Don't you know how to greet someone?
A tall, lean woman stands by the garden entrance, staring at me with icy disapproval. I tilt my head, intrigued. So, there is chaos in paradise. Good. I was starting to worry this place was too polished for its own good. I don't know who you are. What gifts? Just then, the Lawrence burst into the garden, looking genuinely panicked.
Finn, don't mess with her.
She is...
Huh?
I'm Finn. Last time you saw me in part 1, I was getting dragged into a too-perfect mansion, meeting my too-perfect new family, and realizing I might actually have to attend real school again. Now, I'm standing in a very expensive backyard, getting stared down by a woman who looks like she could snap her fingers and have me banished. You're Finn, right? What an impolite child. Don't you know how to greet someone? I don't know who you are. What gives? Before she can respond, the Lawrence burst into the garden, looking genuinely panicked.
Finn, don't mess with her!
Turns out, this is Christine, the housekeeper/overlord of the Laurent estate. She's been here forever, practically raised Eve, and definitely thinks she runs this place. She eyes me like I'm a stain on her pristine world. This child needs discipline. Please do not fight Christine. I like you alive. Fine. So, who actually owns this place then? After surviving the housekeeper from hell, I figured school couldn't be worse. Turns out, I was wrong. A group of girls, covered in fancy brands and way too much perfume, stood in a circle, whispering just loud enough for me to hear. She looks so ugly and dirty, but she was adopted by the Laurent family. I don't get it. I immediately nodded, completely unfazed. Exactly! You guys should be avoiding me like the plague, not crowding around me like this. The group exchanged confused glances. That was not the reaction they were expecting. Your brain is broken or something? You're being called ugly and dirty, and you agree with it? My expression darkened. Killer mode activated. I stepped closer, grabbing her collar, voice dropping into something dangerously calm. Hey, ugly and dirty is my style, but my brain, crystal clear. You want to know what broken really looks like? I raised my hand, about to slap some sense into her. Before I could make contact, a hand caught my wrist. Finn, stop! I turned, annoyed, but Eve wasn't looking at me. She was glaring at the girls. Everyone has their own style. Finn's is bold and creative. You guys just copy each other. The mean girl turned pale. I let go of her collar, grinning. Maybe Eve wasn't so bad after all. So apparently, defending myself at school wasn't as big of a scandal as I thought, because when I got home, everyone acted like normal. No lectures, no disappointed looks, just warmth. And I wasn't used to that. Mr. and Mrs. Laurent treated me like I actually belonged. They were both artists. Mr. Laurent was even a painter, so they got it. My need to create, to express myself. Instead of telling me to stop vandalizing my own bedroom walls, Mr. Laurent actually complimented my work. Nice color balance. Bold choice with the shading. Mrs. Laurent never batted an eye at my ripped hoodies or messy hair. Instead, she helped me pick out clothes that I liked when we went shopping. Wear whatever makes you comfortable, Finn. It was weird, in a good way. Of course, there was one exception. Christine. She made it very clear that she wasn't part of the Welcome Finn committee. Since I was new, she took it upon herself to teach me the household rules. Except teaching meant criticizing everything I did. If it were Eve, she would have done better. Every single day. Did it annoy me? Absolutely. But I didn't let it get to me, mostly because of Eve. Eve always had my back. Eve always spoke well of Christine, saying how thoughtful, caring, and attentive she was. All that sentimental stuff I didn't quite see, but figured Eve believed in. One day, she suggested I try giving Christine a gift. Said she might actually soften up. She might be touched, Finn. It's worth a shot. I wasn't convinced, but whatever. I grabbed a box of red strawberry macarons and handed them to Christine. She frowned. I don't like mint-flavored ones. I blinked. Mint? I stared at her, confused. Strawberry macarons weren't mint, but I shrugged it off. Not worth the headache. Turns out, being adopted by world-famous artists doesn't get you into the advanced art class. Nope. I was stuck in basic art, drowning in lectures about art history. Why did I have to memorize every single art movement when I just wanted to paint? By break, I had given up. I sat at my desk, scrolling through graffiti videos on my phone, watching artists transform gray walls into masterpieces. That's real art. No boring textbooks, no rules, just raw expressions. That's when I heard them again. Ugh, graffiti? That's not art. It's just vandalism. It's trashy. Just like like you. You'll never be a real artist. I saw red. Oh yeah? Well, let me show you some trashy art. I dipped the brush into bright blue paint and splattered it all over them. And just like that, chaos. A full-blown fight breaks out. Brushes fly, paint spills, desks knock over. Then...
Enough!
Soon enough, my parents were called. But instead of scolding me, Mr. and Mrs. Laurent just listened. Finn, we understand. But next time, maybe aim for a canvas instead of people. Mr. Michael, surprisingly, had my back too. Finn, your passion is undeniable. But art should be your voice, not your weapon. Next time, come to me first. It wasn't a total loss, but I wasn't in the mood for class anymore. So, time to find the rooftop. I wasn't expecting company, but there he was, Dylan. Well, well, well. Posh boy skipping class. It's called strategic avoidance. We talked. Turns out he wasn't as annoying as I thought. Before I knew it, Dylan and I clicked like we'd been best friends in another life. It was too easy. The constant banter, the dramatic eye rolls, the inside jokes about our ridiculously fancy school. I wasn't used to getting along with someone this fast. Then, in the middle of our usual nonsense, Dylan playfully nudged my shoulder. Oh, so that's how we're playing now? I half raised my hand, ready to shove him back, when I caught something out of the corner of my eye. Eve. She had been walking just a step behind us, but her usual smile was gone. Her fingers twisted the strap of her bag, her eyes flickering toward Dylan, then away, like she was trying not to look. You okay, Eve? What? Oh, yeah, totally! She's probably wondering how she got stuck with the school's two biggest headaches. I laughed. Eve did too, but hers was off. I didn't have time to think much about Eve acting weird, because the school just announced an art competition. At first, I didn't care. Competitions weren't my thing. But then, they started talking. Can you imagine Finn entering? She wouldn't even make it past the first round. She probably won't even try. Not when she has to compete against real artists. Okay, that was it. I pushed off my locker and walked straight up to them. You think I wouldn't? Well, graffiti isn't real art, you know? You'd be wasting your time. I almost laughed. So, art only mattered if it was made in a fancy studio with a tiny brush? Please! These girls acted like they got to decide what counted as a real art and what didn't. Too bad for them. I wasn't the type to back down. Fine, I'll enter, and I'll use graffiti in the competition. They laughed. And when you lose, maybe you'll finally admit graffiti isn't real art. I stepped even closer. No, because I'm going to win. And when I do, you'll have to admit graffiti is art. The hallway went quiet, and their smirks disappeared. Guess they didn't expect me to push back. I left school feeling invincible, ready to prove my point. This is gonna be easy. Graffiti is art. I'll show them. At least, that's what I thought. But as I started sketching, something felt off. The lines felt stiff, like I was forcing something that should flow naturally. My usual creativity was just gone. I kept trying, sketching, erasing, starting over, but nothing looked right. What is this? This isn't me. I ripped the page out and tossed it aside, doubt creeping in. For the first time, I wasn't sure I could pull this off. Doubt still clung to me as I headed to my usual spot, the graffiti wall, hoping fresh air would clear my head. Okay, why do you look like a sad rich boy in a soap opera? Dylan let out a long sigh, running a hand through his hair. I think Eve likes me. I froze mid-step. Huh? I don't know what to do. I don't feel that way about her, but she's my friend, and I don't want to hurt her. I didn't answer right away. Suddenly, all those weird moments with Eve made sense. The way she tensed up, the way she forced those awkward smiles, the way her eyes always flickered toward him when she thought no one was looking. And now I had no idea what to say. If I were in her shoes, wouldn't I be pissed? Wouldn't it suck to like someone who didn't feel the same way? But being me, I just shrugged. Maybe tell her before she explodes? Dylan let out a dry laugh, but there was something heavy behind it. Dylan's words still lingered in my head as I got home, but I barely had time to process them before I found out something new. Eve had also entered the competition. Guess we're rivals now. Let's keep it fair and square. I expected her to laugh, but instead, she nodded, completely serious. Agreed. We'll compete fairly, not just in this competition. Wait, not just in this competition? Was she talking about Dylan? I hadn't thought about it before, but the way she said it, so seriously, made it feel like she wasn't just talking about art anymore. A week went by, And all around me, other students were busy working on their competition pieces. Meanwhile, my canvas, still blank. For the first time, graffiti didn't feel like enough, and I hated that feeling. Then, one evening, Eve glanced at me over dinner. "How's your piece coming along?" I shrugged, forcing a smirk. "Nothing yet. I work better last minute." Total lie. I was completely stuck. Lying about my progress didn't make my art block disappear. So, one night, I snuck into the Lawrence private art studio, hoping inspiration would finally hit me. Yeah, it didn't. Nothing came. No ideas, no spark, just emptiness. Before I could fully sink into frustration, a sharp voice cut through the silence.
"What are you doing in here? Who let you in? What if you ruin the expensive supplies?"
I rolled my eyes. Perfect. Just my luck. But before I could argue, Mr. Laurent walked in.
"Christine, go get some rest. I'll handle this."
I waited for him to scold me, but instead, he set up his own easel and started painting. What? Rich people painting ritual at midnight?
It's about waiting until the art feels right.
What if I can't make something that proves graffiti is art?
Then stop trying to prove something. Paint something that screams you.
Something clicked. I grabbed a spray can, and for the first time in weeks, I finally painted. For the next few days, I put everything into my piece. Spray paint everywhere, bold colors mixing and clashing, with hidden words scattered in the background. This is art. Rules are stupid. Freedom. It wasn't perfect, but for the first time, it felt right. Meanwhile, Eve spent more and more time alone. She redid her piece over and over, staying up late, erasing, starting fresh. Some nights, I'd catch her in her room, exhausted, staring at a blank page. Christine always brought her late-night snacks, making sure she had the energy to keep going. She wanted this badly. I just didn't know how badly until everything fell apart. The whole school was buzzing. Eve's competition entry had vanished. She stood frozen in front of her open locker, eyes wide with shock. "It was right here. I don't understand." She ran her hands over the inside of the locker, as if the missing artwork would magically reappear, but it didn't. Who would even steal it? This wasn't some dumb prank. This was weeks of work, gone. Then came the whispers. "Finn was at school late last night. Maybe she took it. Maybe she was scared she'd lose." I turned sharply. "Are you kidding me? I could handle insults. I could handle people calling me reckless, wild, a troublemaker, but a thief? That was a different story." Ready to fire back. Then I noticed something. Eve. She wasn't saying anything. She wasn't jumping in to shut them down, to say they were wrong. She just hesitated. And that silence, that pissed me off more than their stupid rumors ever could. "Hey, Finn again. Last time you saw me, I was standing in the middle of a hallway, getting accused of stealing Eve's art. And the worst part? She didn't say a word to defend me. So, yeah, I wasn't exactly in a good mood. I stormed home, fully expecting Mr. and Mrs. Laurent to doubt me too. But instead,
"We believe in you, Finn."
without a doubt, I froze. For the first time, I realized they trusted me completely. But across the room, Eve stood silent for a moment before quietly saying, "That's easy for you to say. I stayed up so many nights working on that piece." She turned and left the room, crying. Christine hurried after her. I just stood there, not knowing what to say. But later that night, I finally decided to try. I hesitated for a second, then knocked on Eve's door, trying not to make things worse. "Hey, I'll help you redo your piece." Eve didn't even look up. "I don't need your help." "You take everything." She looked at me, her eyes glassy, like she was holding back tears. "My parents, my place in this house, and now Dylan, too?" I froze. "Wait, this is about Dylan?" "Of course you wouldn't get it. I never wanted Dylan like that." But then, a weird pang hit my chest. Why did I suddenly feel guilty? Eve's words from last night still haunted me, but I didn't have time to think about it anymore, because the next morning, the whole school was talking about me. Finn sabotaged Eve's painting.
She was scared she'd lose.
They suspended her from the competition. I stopped in my tracks. Suspended? Are you kidding me? Fury burned through me as I stormed toward the principal's office, ready to demand an explanation. But just as I reached the door, I heard a familiar voice inside. Dylan? What is he doing in here? Through the small window, I saw him standing in front of the principal's desk, arms crossed, voice firm.
She didn't do it. You're making a mistake. The committee will investigate. If you have solid evidence, present it. Otherwise, step aside and let me do my job.
So that's it? You're just going to let them blame her without proof?
Enough, son. This is out of your hands.
Son? The principal's tired expression, Dylan's defiance? It all made sense now. Dylan was the principal's son. A second later, Dylan walked out, frustration all over his face. I hurried after him. Hey, thanks for standing up for me. You put too much into this to just let them take it away. Then his eyes lit up. What if you submit your piece under my name? I stopped. My frustration flipped into pure excitement. That is a genius plan. But when the excitement hadn't faded yet, Eve appeared. She stood there, her eyes flicked between us, filled with resentment. Why is everyone going out of their way to help Finn? My painting was stolen and no one cared. Then, without letting either of us say a word, she turned sharply and stormed off. But as she walked away, her foot landed on a paintbrush covered in red paint. Stupid paintbrush! Ruined my shoes! Ugh, I hate green! Wait, but that paint is red. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Eve's anger, the missing painting, the way everyone turned against me so fast, none of it added up. And with the competition deadline closing in, there was only one way to get answers. I had to find that painting. So, after school, I stayed behind, determined to search every corner of the building. I had just reached Eve's classroom when I spotted someone suspicious. Someone in a hoodie, face hidden, slipped into the classroom like they didn't want to be seen. Who sneaks into a classroom after hours? Peeking through the door, I watched as the person pulled a painting from their bag and carefully placed it on Eve's desk. Then, just as quickly as they had arrived, they slipped away. I should have run in and checked the painting, but something told me to follow them instead. My heart pounded. Who was this? Then, just as I was about to lose them, they turned a corner and led me straight to my own house. I barely had time to process that when someone else approached them. Christine! Is it done? The figure nodded. Christine pulled out a wad of cash and handed it over.
Good. Now leave.
I stared in shock. Christine was behind this? Before I could react, the masked figure hesitated.
I still don't get it. Why go through all this trouble?
Because I am Eve's mother. I know what's best for her. My mind went blank. Eve's mother? Suddenly, everything made sense. Christine's favoritism, her constant need to compare me and Eve. Then, more memories clicked. Both Christine and Eve mistook red for green. Could it be genetic? My mind was racing. Christine was Eve's mother. Did Mr. and Mrs. Laurent know about this? I rushed home, barely stopping to catch my breath. Mr. and Mrs. Laurent were sitting in the living room, calm as ever, until they saw my face. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I saw someone sneaking into Eve's classroom. They put her painting back. It was stolen. Christine ordered it. Before I could explain more, Eve appeared at the top of the stairs. Oh, so you returned it because you were afraid of getting caught, huh? And now you're blaming poor Christine? You don't have to believe me, but it's the truth. Christine is the real culprit. Christine? What are you talking about? I took a deep breath. She's your mother. What? Even Mr. and Mrs. Laurent looked completely surprised. Mr. Laurent's face tensed like he was searching for words, while Mrs. Laurent just stared between me and Eve, completely stunned. Then, finally, Mr. Laurent cleared his throat, his voice unusually careful.
Eve, you were adopted.
You're lying.
We took you in when you were a baby, but we never knew Christine was your biological mother.
I glanced at Eve, expecting her to react. Anger, denial, something, but her expression only darkened, shoulders tensing under the weight of the truth.
We'll look into this, but for now, just act normal and focus on the competition.
Act normal? You lied to me! My whole life! Then, without another word, she turned and ran upstairs. The next morning, I woke up to panic. Voices shouting, doors slamming, hurried footsteps. Then, I heard it. Eve was missing. The entire house was in chaos. Mr. and Mrs. Laurent spoke urgently on the phone, while staff rushed around the mansion, checking every corner. Christine was pacing back and forth, mumbling to herself, while I stood in the middle of it all, trying to process what was happening. Where would Eve go? I needed to think. I ignored the frantic energy in the house. I headed to Eve's room, hoping to find some kind of clue. I opened drawers, flipped through notebooks, nothing. But as I reached for another notebook, a sudden voice shattered the silence.
What are you doing here? In my daughter's room? Give her back to me!
Christine grabbed my arm. She was crying uncontrollably, gripping me like I had personally taken Eve away from her.
It's all my fault! My daughter, where are you? Come back to me! Christine, let her go.
Blaming Finn won't bring Eve back. She just needs time alone. We've already reported this to the police. Now, we have to wait.
You don't understand. You're not her real parents.
Wait, what did she just say? My patience ran out, and before I knew it, I snapped. They're not her birth parents, but they know her better than you ever did. And you've been living under their roof all these years, lying to their faces, and you don't even feel ashamed? Christine was stunned, but I wasn't done. You say you love Eve, but all you've done is lie to her. That's not love. It's selfish. You don't get to call herself her mother just because you showed up. Christine collapsed onto the floor, and then, through her broken cries, she admitted everything. She had been abandoned by her lover while she was pregnant. Desperate and alone, she left her baby at an orphanage, unable to care for her. Years later, she found out Eve had been adopted by the Lawrence, so she applied as a housekeeper just to stay close to her daughter, to secretly watch over her. But she never had the courage to tell the truth. She was terrified Eve would hate her. She also didn't want to disrupt the good life Eve had with her adoptive parents. And then I came along. Christine had been so afraid that Mr. and Mrs. Laurent would grow attached to me, that I would replace Eve. So she made things hard for me and ruined my reputation, hoping the Laurents would start hating me and send me away. The room fell into heavy silence. Mr. and Mrs. Laurent were speechless. Finally, Mr. Laurent sighed.
We'll deal with this later. Right now, the most important thing is finding Eve.
Christine buried her face in her hands, sobbing. And for once, I didn't have a snarky response, because I actually felt bad for her. I didn't know what else to do, so I ran. There was only one person who could help me figure this out. I reached Dylan's house and banged on his window.
Finn? It's like 6 a.m.
I didn't wait for an invitation. I climbed inside. Get up, posh boy. I need your nerd skills. Eve is missing. Dylan's sleepiness disappeared in an instant. He grabbed his laptop and started typing furiously.
If she didn't tell anyone where she went, maybe she left a clue online.
Eve? Posting, "Hey guys, I'm running away" on social media? Not happening.
Obviously not. But lucky for you, I have access to the school system.
Wait, how?
I'm the principal's son, remember? My dad keeps his login saved on our home laptop. One quick access, and boom, school system unlocked.
Pretty sure that's not legal.
Only if I get caught.
A few seconds later, his smirk faded.
Got something. Eve logged into her school account last night from home, and the last thing she searched was St. Mary's Orphanage.
We both stared at the screen, the search history sitting there like a breadcrumb trail. Of course, she didn't just run away. She went home. I skated as fast as I could, my heart pounding, the streets eerily quiet in the early morning light. And there she was, Eve, sitting on the orphanage steps, arms around her knees, staring into nothing like she'd been there all night. You picked a weird place for a meltdown, princess. I sighed and dropped down beside her, pulling my hoodie tighter around myself. After a long silence, Eve finally spoke. I should have figured it out sooner. Figured out what? That I never really belonged. Christine knew me better than my own parents did. I spent my whole life trying to be their perfect daughter, but in the end, I was just another orphan they picked up. Yeah, that's a crap feeling. What? You think I haven't been there? Feeling like a mistake? Like no matter what you do, someone's gonna send you back? But you know what? That's our decision, not theirs. You can sit here forever feeling sorry for yourself, or you can get up, go back, and make them prove they love you. And if they don't, then you and me, we leave. Find a place where nobody can throw us away. Eve finally looked at me, really looked at me. Then, slowly, she smiled. You're such a pain, Finn. You love me. Maybe. That was enough for me. I pulled out my phone and called Mr. Laurent. A short while later, the Laurents pulled up in a car, rushing out to Eve. Relief was written all over their faces. I stood off to the side, watching. Then, suddenly, Mrs. Laurent grabbed me into the hug, too. What? Oh, okay, this is happening. Christine was nowhere in sight. I glanced at Eve. So, you staying? Yeah.
Good, because I wasn't about to let you leave me with Dylan. Eve came home, submitted her entry, and little by little started acting like herself again. But Christine is different. One morning, she left without a word. No note, no goodbye, just gone.
You okay?
About what?
Christine. It's weird. I thought I'd feel angry, but mostly I just feel relieved. Maybe she needed time to figure things out. If that's what she needs, then she can have it.
I didn't know what to say, so I didn't. We just sat there, watching as the sky deepened from orange to blue. Then, out of nowhere,
You like him, don't you?
I blinked, caught off guard.
Dylan?
I don't know.
You're an idiot.
You too.
I don't think I ever really wanted Dylan. I think I just wanted to feel like I mattered.
A lump formed in my throat. For the first time, Eve felt like family, not competition. She gave me a small smile, and I knew she saw me the same way. After that afternoon, I found myself wandering, my thoughts still tangled, which is how I ended up here, walking through an empty hallway with Dylan. Neither of us said much. The school felt weird when it was this quiet, just the soft buzz of the vending machine and our footsteps filling the empty halls. Then I blurted, "Do you ever think about it?" Dylan shot me a glance. Think about what? If we'd be a thing. Dylan paused mid-step. I just grinned, keeping my tone easy. Not saying I wanted or anything, just wondering. You're impossible, Finn. We kept walking, neither of us saying anything more. But then, just as I thought the conversation was over, you really don't know, huh? I glanced at him, but he was already looking ahead, hands in his pockets, like he hadn't said anything. You're impossible, Dylan. Yeah, guess we both are. We didn't say anything after that, but at least I knew I wasn't the only one thinking about it.